Hi, I'm Linda. I'm in Ilowa, near Warrnambool, and we're at the Ark Garden, which is named the Ark Garden because when we moved here 3 years ago, we bought 2 plants of everything from our little nursery in the Grampians, and we put them down here and hoped they'd all survive. One was to keep and one was a spare. And we gave lots of plants to my sister round the corner, and they were our emergency plants in case both of ours failed. When we bought the property in 2015, it had some trees around the boundary and it had a few trees up the driveway, and those are the big trees you can see now, and everything else that's not a tree we've planted since 2015, and the bulk of them being since 2019 when we moved in. And they've been heavily mulched with wood chips from the Warrnambool wood chip pile or with scoria from one of the local quarries. And we've grown lots of corias from cutting, which we love. And David has a thing for tropical brevillas, which is one of the reasons we moved down here, because there aren't any frosts, and he desperately wanted to grow them. And hakeas, I think, is probably another one of his passions. That's Coria prolific. I can't tell you the parentage of it, but it's certainly prolific. On the 2019 Coria crawl, we went over the border to Port Macdonald Cemetery, and the Port Macdonald Cemetery is absolutely stunning with a magnificent range of little Coria reflexes, and that's one of them. We were like kids in a lolly shop there. Beautiful. So our very first stop on the Coria crawl in 2019 was the inland walk at Lake Monabyong, and this was the first one I saw, and it is absolutely exquisite, and it was in an area that was dotted with a myriad of different Coria reflexes, and this one had an old broken pram next to it and an old drawer full of rubbish, and I thought, if I don't take a cutting of that, it's going to be covered with rubbish, and it is absolutely the prettiest thing you've ever seen. Look at that. Yeah.
And what's this one?
Well, that is a seedling from Coria gwen. So Coria gwen is a reflexer hybrid, I think, but it's almost pure white with a bit of pink up towards the calyx, but this is a seedling that came from it, and it's got a lot more pink on it. It's very pretty. So it's called Gwen's Blush.
Gwen's Blush.
Yes.
Oh, the lovely Grevilla. Is this one of David's?
That's Scarlet Moon.
Scarlet Moon.
Which was released from Kings Park. Okay. One of the Kings Park releases with the
Beautiful, isn't it?
stunning Grevilla. That one is got that from Philip Vaughan many years ago, which I then grafted onto a Robusta as a low graft, and that's called Lassiter's Gold, but I think it goes under a few different cultivar names.
Okay.
But yeah, I bought it as Lassiter's Gold, so that's what we call it. So after the fires in 2006 that went through our Pomonal property, they were up in their top paddock, and we lost one of them to the fire. And I thought, well, they're not going to survive if there's another fire. I can't protect them. So I went and dug them up and brought them back and put them along our driveway at Pomonal. And then when we sold the Pomonal property, I'm not going to leave them there, so I dug them up again and brought them down here. So they've been around a bit.
This is my favourite area of the garden, and I always wanted it to look like the gardens in Kings Park, like a massive colour and lots of little pretty things. So when they built the block up by pushing the soil at the back forward, we got a nice mound or a nice slope. And David can tell you about the rocks.
Well, the big rocks were moved from a house site in Port Fairy that had to be cleared in a hurry. So they cost us nothing other than transport, and they're ideal for putting in a retaining wall. And I did want something that we could cascade plants down. So you've got things like the Grevilla maxwellii. You have to be able to cascade them over something so you can actually appreciate the flowers. So we've got a couple of those in there, and one's doing really well.
The blue smoke bush
Conospermum ceruleum.
That's right. Yeah. It's
I've got it in a pot and it's growing all right.
you can It's smothering everything all over the place. It's unbelievable.
And that's Grevilla maxwellii.
Maxwellii. And the smoke bush, the trick with propagation, we were told, is to use red clonix and only red clonix.
Okay.
We've tried propagating them with other
Yeah.
rooting hormones. No go. Red clonix, everyone. So
And anything else through here?
That's the very vigorous ground cover up there is Grevilla sun-kissed waters, which is the
Wow.
weirdest name I've always thought, but it's closely related to
variegated form of royal mantle.
royal
But it
mantle.
looks like sun-kissed waters.
I guess it does, and it's got a burgundy brush flower, and that is one plant taking over that entire bed there. So it is a great ground cover. Yeah.
And that's a Tylotus?
Obovatus. It's a beautiful thing. It always looks like that. Has not stopped. I love it. I tried it from cuttings, but it didn't seem to work.
And over here?
There's this beautiful Thryptomene, the prostrate Thryptomene denticulata, which is a gorgeous thing. Look at it going through there. And the Hemiandropungens was magnificent, but has since finished. And there's a few Darwinias. That one's the only grafted Darwinia we have,
Through there.
which is a gift from Neville and Helen Coria, and it's going to be stunning. And that's a Herbertia dentata up there, suddenly taking over everything without us knowing. And it's got huge yellow
Covert operation.
Brilliant
Yeah.
yellow flowers, really
Yeah.
bright yellow, vibrant.
very covert operation. And that's Grevilla mini marvel, which is a bit of a marvel. It never stops flowering, and it's doing a covert cover-up job as well. Yes.
And did you get your scoria from the same place that
Yes.
Sue? Another one of your osteopotens?
That's latifolius.
That's Latifolia.
And
And then the Stucky's hybrid just over here.
that's a,
Stucky's hybrid?
that's a beautiful
look at
thing.
it.
It's a gorgeous thing.
Yeah.
And that is Coria milli there, which is absolutely stunning. It's one of our seedlings from Pomona. And Adenanthus argyrius, I think is how you pronounce it, up the back there. That would have to be my favourite plant in the whole garden, with tiny little pinky red Adenanthus flowers, but it's just a beautiful soft silver mound all year. Makes a beautiful cut foliage, cut flowers, and it's got lovely pinky red Adenanthus typical flowers, and the honeyeaters love it. It's a gorgeous thing. Used to be members of the daisy study group years and years ago, and they used to be so generous with their knowledge and all the seeds that they gave away, and so most of these have come from seed from all those years ago. And our business in the Grampians was called Grampians Everlastings because we grew so many of them, and they just pop up everywhere. And down here you have flowers all year pretty much.